So I'm a husband and a father. I'm an adult. I'm pretty serious about things, but not 100% serious all the time. I like some silly things too, like Pokemon. My favorite Pokemon, probably out of all of them, is the ghost poison type Gengar. And I have always loved about Gengar is that he can use hypnosis to put his opponents to sleep, and then he has this special attack called Dream Eater. Very strong psychic attack where you eat the dreams of your opponents. Did you guys know? Weed is the real life Gengar. It eats your dreams. It's this malicious spirit that consumes your dream essence and feeds off of it. It feeds off of you and your soul, replacing you with it. Now, if that's a little bit too out there, let's dive into my years of experience with cannabis science and cannabis content writing to give you a reason like why I think that. It's not just because I got too high and was looking at Gengar too much and thought Gengar was real. Though, I mean, that'd be kind of cool. I do like Gengar a lot. I have Gengar merch. My boy drew me a picture of Gengar, worked really hard on it for my birthday. Everyone knows I love Gengar. Now everyone on the channel does too, but there's a lot more to it than that. So dreaming occurs during a period of sleep called REM sleep, rapid eye movement. And this is, as it sounds, when you're asleep, but your eyes are moving around like crazy. And sometimes your body moves too, like your limbs will flail. So this is your body reacting to what's happening inside your brain. Your brain is dreaming and you're looking around with your eyes. You're looking around like, what's going on? You're seeing all these things in your dreams. And then researchers can tell that you're dreaming because you're having rapid eye movement. Well, guess what disappears or dramatically decreases with heavy and chronic cannabis use? That's right, REM sleep. The research is a little bit divided on this. Sometimes I think it has to do with dosage and formulation. Sometimes REM sleep does increase somewhat, especially when you aren't a common cannabis user and you just start. I know some people say, I just smoke on the weekends or something like that, and when I do smoke, I have crazy dreams. But there's something about the rewiring of the brain that happens over time with heavy or persistent cannabis use that does, statistically in the research, it does decrease the amount of time that your brain spends in REM sleep. So I've been really interested in dreams ever since I started reading the works of Carl Jung in college. Dreams have a definite psychological function. They help you psychologically, but there's beyond that, beyond just the pure mental level. There's also a powerful emotional and also spiritual component of dreaming. Dreaming connects you to your higher self. That's what Jung thought. That's what lots of people in Jung's circle and beyond his circle thought. This is actually not something that Jung just came up with. This is something that basically every culture has thought throughout history, that dreams have this purpose of connecting you to the spiritual world. Sometimes like literally, like sending you into the spirit world. That is sometimes seen as being a component of the dream experience, is you actually enter a different world, you leave your body, and then I guess REM sleep is when your body and your separated mind or spirit are connected, when the journey that your spirit is going through in sleep starts to also affect your physical body. So dreams are really important. We know this from modern materialistic psychology, that they are a very important processing function of the brain. For instance, dreams help you process trauma. So if you've been through difficult stuff in your life, I mean, honestly, who hasn't? So we all need to dream to be able to process what has happened to us. If you are prevented from dreaming, one of the body and brain's latent built-in psychological tools for healing, bye. It's just gone. Gengar came and ate your dreams. If you stop dreaming, your ability to heal yourself goes away. And also, dreams are really fun. That's the one thing I forgot over years of chronic and heavy cannabis use, is that I was just missing out on some of the most entertaining parts of life. Dreams can be scary, they can be weird, they can be senseless, but more often than not, they're absolutely fascinating. It's like having a free, TV service subscription. It's like getting Netflix or Disney Plus or whatever for free. You have these stories that all have something to do with you emerging in your head every night. So on just like the very simple personal contemporary level, dreams are absolutely enjoyable and interesting. They add flavor to life. On the psychological level, dreams provide healing. And then on the spiritual level, dreams connect you to God, to your higher self, to the spiritual world. So you really don't want to stop dreaming. But everyone I know who has been a consistent chronic cannabis user, maybe you'll be the exception. Tell me in the comments if you've been smoking weed in excess of 100 milligrams THC per day and you still dream every night and robustly. I think there are exceptions out there, and I don't really know why. Maybe some people have like exceptionally strong spiritual inclinations or something, and nothing is going to stop them from dreaming. But statistically, from the research that has been done on this, REM sleep decreases or goes away altogether with chronic, heavy cannabis use. And so what does this do to you? I mean, first of all, you're missing out on primo entertainment, right? But beyond that, you're also missing this chance to heal psychologically. But I think it goes deeper than that. I think that on top of all that, you also start to atrophy spiritually. And then the real question is, where do these dreams go? You're not having dreams, but there's this function in you that's still trying. Is it possible that your dreaming experience is being siphoned away? That's honestly where I tend to go with this. Maybe I played too much Pokemon. Maybe I like Gengar too much. Maybe I think Dream Eater is actually a real thing when it's just a move in the Pokemon game. But I have a strong suspicion that this is the case. I've often mentioned on the channel that I think that there is a spiritual component to cannabis, that there is a spiritual entity that exists within or connected with cannabis. And I think that when you stop dreaming as a heavy cannabis user, this spiritual entity within or associated with the plant is siphoning away your dream energy, your dream essence. It siphons away your memories. It also siphons away your dreams. It also siphons away your social and emotional connection with others. When I was years ago trying to really decide whether it was safe or right to smoke weed as much as I was encouraged by these stories of celebrities, icons within our culture who somehow managed to make daily cannabis use a viable part of their lives. And primarily, the one I think that in like the early 2000s and 2010s people knew about was Woody Harrelson. And so I had recently just watched the first season of True Detective. And that show really went down the tubes. It got terrible from season 1 onward, but season 1 is an absolute gem. And it has Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey and some of the best characters ever crafted for television. I'm like, wow, this guy's obviously a genius and he's smoking weed. I'm sure it's fine. But what I learned is that actually just prior to the filming of True Detective, Woody Harrelson had quit, and maybe he's relapsed, but I do believe he is no longer a cannabis user. And his reason for doing so is he said that it made him feel emotionally disconnected from his family, from his loved ones. So I do think there's some kind of spiritual component going on there. I think that cannabis is an entity spiritually, a demon that attaches to you and feeds on you in various ways. The most upsetting or potent of ways being the fact that it consumes your dreams, consumes your memories, and sabotages your interpersonal relationships. And so, like Scooby-Doo, there's got to be a reasonable explanation for this, or rational explanation. There is. You can explain it away in the context of materialist psychology that is so dominant today. But psychology, which literally means the study of the psyche or the soul, used to be a much more spiritual profession. And spiritual ideas used to be a lot more prominent. It's just that Freudian psychology became dominant, Jungian psychology became fringe, but maybe that is for another video. The point is that the psyche is deeply complex and has a spiritual or non-physical component to it. And any time that a substance is causing you severe psychological change or issues of any case, I think you should at least entertain the idea there's a spiritual component there. So just summing up, yes, it's 100% true that cannabis stops REM sleep, that THC reduces REM sleep. Again, the research is a little bit conflicting on this, but when you narrow it down to chronic and heavy use, the research is very clear. And then personally, when I was using it heavily, I stopped dreaming. And then when I stopped using cannabis, the dreams came back, but were nightmares for months on end before stabilizing. You don't want to shut off this valve. You don't want to stop your brain from dreaming. You don't want to stop your spirit from going on its nightly journeys. There are so many issues with this. You actually feel less rested, first of all. So there are physical issues. Psychologically, you lose this healing tool. And spiritually, you lose your connection to the beyond, to the divine, to the spirit world. So, another reason to quit cannabis. But as I mentioned in an earlier video, do it gradually, do it safely, prevent relapse, reduce your dose gradually. But you're gonna want to, because dreaming is important and you don't want to turn it off. So I appreciate you guys watching as always. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Everyone, please like the video, comment to help with the algorithm. Let me know your experiences with cannabis and dreaming. If you can't wait for another video, click down in the corner for another video while you wait for me to come out with a new one. And just God bless you all. Good luck in your journey quitting cannabis. If you are, and if you're not a cannabis user or you've already quit, I just hope the video was entertaining and informative. So God bless you guys. I'll see you soon.